Hello, good morning. Welcome. I'm Lisa Lightner, and welcome to my simple little podcast about IEPs and other stuff sometimes. Um, gosh, so much has happened since I recorded the last episode. I'm not even sure where to begin sometimes. Let me just tell you, I can't remember if I said this in a previous episode or not, but my book is coming out this fall. I'm very excited about it. This is obviously something new for me, and it'll be out in October is when it'll be published and available to actually be in your hands. But you can pre-order now, and I will put the links in the show notes because it is on 4 different websites right now. Is it bookshop.org? Is that one of them? Million Books, Books a Million, something like that. Barnes and Noble. So if you want, you can actually just look up on any of those sites, Lisa Lightner, and it'll bring up the pre-order availability. So again, I'm pretty excited about that. Other things that have happened, I'm an advocate, and that's what I do most of my day is IEP and 504 stuff with parents, attending meetings, helping parents strategize, looking at the records. And then, of course, I have my online training where I train people how to do it themselves, be a much better advocate. But I also do, I have other like side hustles and have had side hustles and income streams, I guess is a better term than side hustle. I don't know. Side hustle makes it like, I don't know. Side hustle makes it sound like a hip, fun kind of thing, like something like young people would do. And what it really is like a second or third job for people. And for some people, it's a necessary income stream. So I'll call it that. It's another income stream, and that is writing for MSN. So I put an article on there the other day. I will share that in the show notes as well. I was just feeling kind of pensive lately. Obviously, the world is a very heavy place right now for many of us. And I haven't even gotten into the RFK thing and what he's been saying lately. That's my next topic for today. But, the world just kind of feels like a heavy place. And I was going to pick my other son up at practice the other day. And I listen to FM radio because I'm old and I just can't be bothered. Really, for a 15 or 20-minute trip, I just can't be bothered with hooking up my phone to my car and all that, because then if it's a song I don't like, it's a whole thing. So anyway, I listen to FM radio when I flip around the stations, and one of them is the classic rock station, and it's kind of unnerving to hear what they consider classic rock, and I'm like, classic rock? Like, that's Pearl Jam. It's not classic rock. But anyway, this Motley Crue song came on, and it was one of the warmer days. So Motley Crue's Girls, Girls, Girls came on, and it just kind of like, for a moment, just the way the air smelled and riding in a car and hearing that song on the radio and thinking back to that silly video, which is so misogynist, and like a video like that would never get made today, because it's just this total like TNA video. But I was just kind of like transported back to high school for a brief moment, and it just got me thinking about my son and his friends and just like how heavy the world is for them, and how it just feels like for us, maybe in the moment we thought we had all these problems, and maybe 30 or 40 years has given me a different perspective, but it just feels like life was a lot more fun then, and that kids today aren't permitted to have fun and be free and just roll down the windows and blast the music and that kind of thing. So anyway, I wrote what I felt was a very poignant op-ed piece on it, and I would appreciate it if you would take a look, and I will put it in the show notes as well. So contributing to this heaviness in the world is this RFK thing. And I'm not even sure where to start, because by the time this episode publishes, we will be several days past what he's said, but I'm sure he'll say something else dumb and rude and offensive by then. I heard this anecdote about RFK Jr. and I haven't verified it, so I'm kind of like leery of sharing it, but I'm going to share it. And it's this anecdote is that when he was in college, or when he was in high school, and of course, as everyone knows, he's RFK Jr., right? So his dad was RFK. The story goes that when he had to do an essay to apply to Harvard, his entire essay was one sentence, and it just said, "I'm RFK Jr." Like, I don't know if anyone has any can verify that for me. I'd love to hear it. It's believable, that's for sure. Um, I don't know. I just don't know what's going on and what to make of what's going on in the world today with all these rich, privileged people doing this to our families and doing what they're doing to marginalized people. It doesn't make sense to me that you would have that amount of wealth and privilege. And let's be honest here, like the great thing about wealth is not just the money to not have to worry about, healthcare and housing and food and all that. But what a lot of money buys you is time, right? You don't have to do side hustles. You don't have to look for extra income streams to support your family. Um, you have enough money to make the choices that you want to make with your time. There are fewer have-tos. I have to do this. I have to find another income stream. I have to take on more clients. I have to, whatever it is, I have to pick up more shifts at the hospital and things that nurses do. Or, I'm seeing teachers now who are stressed about having to do ESY or summer school because they need that extra money. After school programs, sometimes, you get stipends if you pick up extra things. So when you're wealthy, you don't have all those have-tos. So it's really just mind-boggling to me that you could do what you want with your time and that this is what you choose to do. Like, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what my dream is with having, like, if I had unlimited wealth and time, like, would I travel the country in an RV? Um, I don't know. I feel like, do you remember back in the 80s and 90s when it was trendy for celebrities would like buy a city? And I feel like Daryl Hannah was the first one who did it. Maybe I'm not remembering it correctly, but like she bought like some town in Georgia or something for, I don't know how, like, I honestly don't know how you buy a town, but she did. Maybe I'll Google that, see how that happens. But anyway, that was kind of like a thing for a while where these enormously wealthy celebrities would buy this town, and I don't know what they even did with it. But anyway, that is my kind of like Powerball daydream. So if any of you play Powerball, and actually I don't really play Powerball, but I do tend to notice, I guess, sometimes when it gets up into the high hundreds of millions of dollars or billions, like we all have this Powerball daydream, right? Like if you won the Powerball, what would you do? So I have this Powerball daydream that I would buy a town, and I'm not going to say which ones. They're Pennsylvania towns. They right now are quite run down and quite, what's the word I'm looking for besides run down? I can't think of one. Anyway, they are coal mining towns. That's where my family is from, the coal region of Pennsylvania. And I just have this daydream that I would buy these coal mining towns and I would revitalize them and make them for disabled people. So provide supports and services and healthcare and jobs and a safe place to live and a safe community to be in, all that. That's kind of like my Powerball daydream. I know of many other special needs parents like myself who have told me their special needs daydream, and whether it's like, oh, I'd open this advocacy agency or I'd open a special school and teach everybody how to read. What a concept. Um, all these different things that special needs moms tell me that are their Powerball daydream. So again, it's just mind-boggling to me that these people can literally live their Powerball daydream, and what they are choosing to do is take away IEP transition programs. They choose to take away the Administration for Community Living, which offers supports for disabled people to live in their community safely, thrive. Um, and then, of course, just his latest antics, and I'm like, is he just doing it for attention, or like, does he really believe it? Like, it's so far out there to say that it's destroying families. And let me just say that it's not a contest, but I feel like if it was a contest, my son would definitely be on the podium as far as who's the most autistic. Like, you're not going to find many individuals whose autism is more profound than his. It interferes with so many of his daily activities, and so many of his thought processes, and I mean, it's just it's you can just watch it on his face sometimes about how, like, I'm watching him, like, think through something, and I can see that he's thinking like, "Ah, I really don't wanna do this, but my mind and my body is forcing me to do this because of my need to stim or my need to not have this stimulation," and so on and so on. So, I say that because I don't wanna give the impression, and I don't think I have, that, like, the autism that my family is dealing with is, "Oh, it's so easy and nothing happens, and, you know, he's gonna be a Sheldon Cooper and all that." It's not. My son is very profoundly autistic, and combined with his seizure disorder, it is a life-threatening form of autism. He puts himself in unsafe situations due to his autism, and, um, yeah. So, but it still hasn't I would never, ever, ever say that it's ruined my family. What's ruined and nothing's ruined my family's perfectly intact. Um, but it's the lack of supports and services and the worries about what is he going to do as an adult when I'm gone, because I can't live forever and he cannot be independent. And then there's this whole other thing, you know, I've been posting a lot on Facebook about this, and people are saying, well, autism did ruin my family. My husband left, and I'm in a Facebook group, all single moms whose husbands left when they got their diagnosis. Why are you blaming the autism? Like, blame your fucking husband. Like, that dude's an ass. You're going to walk out on your kid because he got diagnosed with autism? Like, learn to place blame appropriately. Like, you really want that dude back? No, autism is not destroying families. It's the community, it's the society, or lack thereof, that destroys our families. Where am I going with this? I'm so completely rambling. Um anyway, I'm getting much better at consistently posting action items on my site for us to do, to call, write, email, show up, speak out about this. I'm going to change some of the titles on them because they're not getting a lot of attention, and I just, maybe they just need a catchier title. But anyway, please call, write, email all of your people about this, because this is just, it's completely unacceptable and it harms our kids. Rhetoric like this harms our kids. For one, it just, like, further entrenches stigma and negative connotations about our kids. The other thing is that it relieves people of their responsibility to be better people and support our kids, right? Like, if you hear that, like, oh, we're going to find the cause to autism in 6 months, and, like, why would you invest more in IEP services or healthcare or community living, right? Because they're going to fix it in 6 months. So I don't need to worry about this. This isn't my problem. He's just so harmful on so many levels. Excuse me. And now my voice is getting raspy like his, which is another weird thing. Like, what the hell's up with his voice? Like, you want to talk about health? Like, dude, worry about yourself first. Um, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get why wealthy, privileged people would spend their time doing this. I do not understand how some parents can support this, and I've seen it over and over again in recent months on my page. Oh, it's fine. He's just trying to remove food additives. No, he's not. No, he's not. And even like if he wants to remove food additives, like do that. He can get legislation and regulations that does that. It would have been done by now. It's just silly. It's just silly. Okay. Your action items. I'm going to share again in the show notes how to pre-order my book, the link I want you to check out on MSN. And please, please, please do some of these action items with calling, emailing. Like, even if you can carve out a few minutes once or twice a month, really challenge yourself to step out of your comfort zone and set a few minutes aside. We have to be heard. We have to do better. We have to speak up. Or it's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. He's made it very clear what his intentions are. And if this Department of Ed thing goes through and it's dismantled and IDEA falls under HHS, which he runs, which he's the secretary of, then really, God help us then. God help us then. So anyway, have a great rest of your day, rest of the week, and I will talk to you soon.